Okay, where are we now? We're in the office here, the little blue office, and Matilda is in here, upside down as always. She's rested. She's the best dog ever. We're gonna actually start to think about finding Matilda a quiet home in Thailand. She wouldn't be suited to travel because of medical history and stuff like that. But we're thinking, every home is different, but we're thinking somewhere where we can kind of maybe keep an eye on her a little bit, if that makes sense. If she did have any more medical issues, she wouldn't be too far away. There's an awful lot of stuff going on here this week, so I don't really know where to start. I obviously told you about the hospital last week. That has continued. I'll show you over here something that I think is really exciting. I mean, I don't know how exciting it is for normal people, but gates. I mean, why would I be so excited about gates? I think they're just, it's kind of symbolic, isn't it? It's kind of, I mean, this was always, they're not very good gates because you can just walk around the side of them. But no, well, that's coming, the fixes for that. I think it's very symbolic of, you know, we're on Hope Avenue now, which is still a little bit dug up, but we've got the Happy Doggo gates there, which they're not to keep the dogs in, it's actually to keep the people out, which is, I just realised, there's nothing to do with keeping dogs in. What we're going to have when the hospital, well, I was going to say when the hospital is built, it is being built behind me as we speak, but what we're going to have is we're going to have a lot of people flow. If you can imagine people coming here with their dogs, walking in, you know, volunteers, everybody, they're going to come down Hope Avenue and they're going to want to bring their dog in here, so they come in through the gap and go into the hospital. But just sort of thinking ahead, people's natural instinct is they'd want to go into Happy Doggo Land, they'd want to meet Brittany, they'd want to do all those sort of things, and that's fine. Well, no, it's not fine, because as I said before, it kind of disturbs the dogs a lot when you have it's very weird light today. It kind of disturbs the dogs an awful lot when random people just walk in. It's also dangerous because dogs escape, dogs can bite, dogs are behavioural issues, all those sort of things is tricky for the dogs. So that's why we've got a flow now. We're going to have the sort of road, and then you can come into the hospital and park here. You can see we've got temporary parking here, but the whole setup here is going to be busy. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be very, very busy in terms of flow. So we need to get that sorted. This is more of a casual update, just of everything that's happening behind the scenes at the land. This week we went back to visit Johnson actually, and I think he's a perfect example. The reason I wanted to share him was, you have a lot of, like for us, we can never treat all the dogs here. We can't just become a place that houses 200, 500 dogs. There's a lot of those type of shelters in the world, and that's not for me. I don't think that's the way that shelters should be run optimally. That's just my take on things. We want to try and fix dogs here and get them back out onto the streets, so as we can fix the next one and the next one and the next one after that. We give them medical care. So if you look at Johnson, huge rip down his front of his mane. Do dogs have manes? I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But it's huge rip there, so that was something that we could fix here. But he had to stay for a month. But he's so much happier now. He's back on the streets. He's looking, as you can see, really, really good. And that's a perfect outcome for him. We can move on to the next dog. Johnson's happy. He's back with his people. But there are dogs who obviously have to stay a longer time. I actually can see a couple of them out at the moment. I'm going to go and give you some updates on two very good dogs. We have Earth is coming out here. Where is? I just got to sneak through this. Oh. There is lovely little Pepper with Earth. How's she doing, Earth?
She's good.
Oh, hello, Pepper. She loves to cuddle, Pepper. She actually tried to escape yesterday and hurt herself a little bit more, but she's got a lovely big bandage on. She's doing an awful lot better. So she's going to be here for about another week, I would say. She's just going for a walk with Earth. You can see her injuries are not fully healed yet. It takes about a week for her to fully fix up. Now up here I have Bobo, who's resting on the grass. His leg is taking a little bit of time to recover. And down here, here's the girl I wanted to show you. I was wondering where she was. Big news for Kerry. Jam is with Kerry. How's she doing?
I think she's good now, and she's ready to have an operation on this Sunday.
So she's Sunday, Monday, she's going to have an operation. So we're very nervous for her because it's a huge, you can see the size of her lump. It's a huge operation. She's like an older girl, and she's a little bit too much weight. So it's going to be quite stressful. The vet said that it's not guaranteed to be a success. So we just have to hope for the best for lovely Kerry. Thank you, Jam. Yeah, this is the time, it's a bit cooler at the moment. Everybody's out and about with the dogs, walking them. At the land at the moment, you can see it's kind of a balancing act really, because the builders are here, and there's just so many dogs to look after really, and so many builders to sort of manage, and staff and cars and people coming and going, and people wanting to give us more dogs that are also sick. But the good news is we had some departures this week, and I say that as good news. It really is, because it might be sad in some ways that you don't see the dogs anymore, and we definitely love them, like the huskies of hello, you're back again. That's a good girl, isn't it? Pepper just loves the attention. Why did you not come to us last week when we were trying to catch you that easily? She's a lovely girl. It's a lovely bandage you've got on, isn't it? She really is a lovely girl. But she escaped yesterday. She cut herself trying to escape, so she really wants to go home, but she has to stay for another little while. Good girl. Yeah, the huskies leaving was Prince and Bowie. And actually it's funny, Pan, who walks them, was the most upset. She was really upset. Not upset, just emotional, I think, to see them leaving, which we all are, but they've gone to much cooler climate, which is better. Bowie's gone to Germany, Prince is going to Wales. They're in Bangkok at the moment, and they will fly. So that's a really unusual one. It's just normally we'll get them a home wherever they want, or wherever we can get a home. But for those ones, we specifically wanted a cooler climate because they're huskies or Samurides. I'm not entirely sure, but they need somewhere cooler to live. So that they've gone, and also another one that's two have gone. Two of the little puppies. We've got them adopted out locally to a wonderful man who was visiting here and was absolutely fell in love with them. He was looking at another dog first, but the puppies just absolutely fell in love with. So we've had a lot of exits in the last 2 days. 5 dogs have left, which is great news, and people are always sad, but as I say, it means we've got 5 spaces for more dogs, so that's really good. Good girl. That means we've got more spaces for more dogs to come in. So today is a day where I had to whisper it quietly to Earth and a couple of others, but we have space for dogs. Because if I say it too loud, people will arrive here with 10 different dogs that maybe don't need care. We have to pick the ones that actually need the space the most. So that's the most important. So yeah, I'll just jump back up here. It's kind of, like I said, it's a busy time. I think the biggest thing at the moment is just juggling so many different things. Is trying to just keep dogs happy, build a hospital at the same time. I'm on the sites of the containers. They're actually coming in 2 weeks from now, the new containers. But the guys are building in drainage systems and water and plumbing and all the sort of things there. Just behind me is the car park has been built for the hospital. We're going to obviously need some, like, what would you call it? Protection around the outside, like plants and stuff to shade it off. You got to really consider the weather conditions here in Thailand. They are probably one of the biggest factors, if I'm honest. Weather between rain and extreme heat is something that we have to consider. I remember when we got the other containers, they were like saunas because I didn't think of putting a roof on them. So obviously building aircon in is really, I'm trying to balance things at the moment with what would you call it, like saving the dogs, which is obviously super important and all I care about, but then also building out the infrastructure and the plans to help even more dogs. So it's a lot to juggle, but so you have to maybe like help a couple less dogs in the short term to help more in the long term. But what's also happening, this is an incredible one, I'll finish on this because I just think it's so impressive, is we just sterilised the 50,000th dog in terms of funding that we've done with our partners. 50,000. I think we're actually at about 53, 54,000, but about a week, 10 days ago, we sterilised our 50,000th dog. And what's sterilising? It's an operation where you neuter or spay the dog. So it's the way that we think is the best to control the population. And it's a mind-blowing number for me. I'm obviously beside Tina's grave, which is symbolic, and I just remember the amount of puppies that she had. It's kind of, sterilising it's boring for people. You know, you guys, people online, anybody out there, what they want to watch is, you know, makeovers and cute puppies and stuff. So the sort of really cold sterilising, it gets boring. Like, nobody really cares about it that much. There'd be like 10% of people who are interested in it, but it's my biggest focus. It's Happy Doggo's biggest focus, and we've just hit 50,000, which is mind-blowing number. Mind-blowing number. I mean, I don't even want to tell you how much that costs or how much is in logistics and how many partners and people, like hundreds of people and millions of dollars involved to do that. But 50,000 dogs sterilised, so I'm very, very happy with that. A hospital being built, sick dogs walking around, the gates. I think I'm most happy about the gates. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this more relaxed style, let me know in the comments, give me a follow. I'd be surprised if anybody's still watching, but a subscribe always helps. So thanks very much. All go here at Happy Doggo Land, and lots of progress for the dogs.